argument goes much wider than the cause of the overdose. They also argue that Dr. Murray criminally violated his professional duty of care to Michael Jackson. Not calling 911 immediately is a case in point.
Conrad Murray actually called someone else, left a message, and made no indication that 911 was required.
I almost don't know what to say. That is so completely and utterly inexcusable.
I've never been in a situation where I was alone, trying to do all of these things with no help in sight, in such an odd situation where I couldn't shout for help. I didn't have a phone there to call for help, and the only one phone access I had was Michael Mayer, who was his head of security, right? As a cardiologist, what did I need to do? I am not a lay person, I'm trained. If I say a man is down and I'm on the scene, I will resuscitate you.
If somebody in the house, not just you, but somebody in the house who called 911.
If you call 911, you've done the right thing. If you've got an expert doctor in the house and he can do what they're going to do when they get there first, calling 911 is a delay. And again, no reason to call 111 unless he had continued to persistently remain impaired or so, right? However, if he came out of it and he was fine, he and I would have had to have a serious talk, and I would have taken my bags and said, you know what? If you allow that to happen, when I'm anywhere in the vicinity of your environment, I'm gone. That would have been my exit. He was so...
That was going to be my exit. You understand me? Because there's no discussion he could have had with me that day to compensate for the unexpected change if it was as a result of his own hands. I went there to take care of a healthy man who said he was fine, to just keep surveillance in case my kids get sick or I get the flu, help us to choose the right better foods and wash our hands so we don't get infected. But once I got in there, I was entrapped. Okay? Go ahead, enjoy. Yeah.
With the trial drawing to a close, Dr. Ch4 is proving to be the prosecution's most compelling witness.
Dr. Ch4, you've very clearly described 17 egregious violations of the standard of care. These 17 violations individually were likely to result in injury or death to Michael Jackson.
Yes.
The defense have their own expert witness, Dr. White. But after Ch4's devastating testimony, they can't agree on the best strategy.
Guys, what about standard of care? Because standard of care is not the best care possible.
We can't get into that battle. We start arguing whether or not it was standard of care was correct or not.
Okay.
The jury thinks Dr. Murray is a deaf doctor.
Well, he's presented Dr. Murray as a non-doctor, less than a lay person.
And I think the jury believes all that.
Yeah.
We have to bring him back to the issue of causation.
You got to get it to be a cardiac arrest that starts this thing. Otherwise, you lose mathematically.
Do you really honestly think that during cross-examination of Ch4, he's going to admit that it's a cardiac arrest, and we're going to have that argument, that conversation?
No, I think he's got to admit he doesn't know because he has never studied the effects of that.
And as soon as I ask him, isn't it true you don't know, he's going to say, I do know, and here's why I know. Why, here's this, and this. And we're not going to do that. We're not going to get into science with this guy. That's what we have a scientist for.
No.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you about methodology, Mike.
I'll keep my mouth shut.
I'm not going to have an argument with the guy on the science.
No, fuck you.
I'm not going to do it, Mike. You want to spend 3 hours doing that? Go ahead.
No. You don't see the issue.
Gotcha.
He's got it all mathed out for you, and you're missing it.
See you guys tomorrow.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Walgren, thank you. At this time, cross-examination by the defense. Mr. Chernoff.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Ch4, good afternoon.
The dispute over strategy led to Ed Chernoff taking over the vital cross-examination of Dr. Ch4 from Michael Flanagan.
One of the things that you were asked your opinion about that you testified to yesterday were the actual IV setup, infusion, how Michael Jackson received the propofol that was in his body. You do understand the difference between opinion and fact, don't you?
Objection, argument.
Do you?
I'll sustain the objection. You may
You understand that everything you said in the last 2 days was your opinion. You do understand that, right? Do you understand that?
It might be the opinion that I have as a physician, but I believe it's that's an interesting question.
Following his decision to cross-examine Dr. Ch4, Chernoff moved out of Flanagan's house.
My theory with experts is you don't cross experts in their area of expertise. You're asking for trouble. You're not going to be smarter than the expert. And Flanagan disagrees with that theory, but it's important enough for me, and that's why I took it over. You know, I'm fighting the judge anyway, fighting the prosecution anyway. I'm hoping that it'll all pan out, but shit, it may not.
He killed Michael Jackson! He killed me! I will whip your ass and go to jail.
They want you to convict Dr. Murray for the actions of Michael Jackson.
Poor Conrad Murray. Everyone is to blame but Conrad Murray. This type of medical care has never been seen. This was a pharmaceutical experiment. Justice demands a guilty verdict.
We've been dancing around this for 6 weeks. Somebody's got to just say it. If it were anybody else but Michael Jackson, would this doctor be here today?
Teach me your way, O Lord, and lead me in the smooth path because of my enemies. Do not deliver me to the will of my adversaries, for false witnesses have risen against me. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen my heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I am advised that the jury has reached a verdict.
We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Conrad Robert Murray, guilty of the crime of involuntary manslaughter.
Dr. Murray was refused bail, remanded in custody, and will be sentenced on November the 29th.
It was so sad. It was just horrible. Tried so hard. That was just horrible. I don't want to relive that experience. I remember running down the hall in the ER and I was punching the wall. I was punching the wall. I don't want to lose him. I love him. talk anymore.
Still to come tonight, The Secret Millionaire is at 11:20 after tonight's Rory Peck Awards short. That's next.